You opened the box. I came. Beaming to your device live from Frank Khan's attic somewhere in Southern California. It's the Hollywood Horror Nerds, your number one source for news, speculation, and discussion exclusively for Universal Studios Hollywood's Horror Nights. And now to your hosts, Undead Ed and the newest leader of the Cenobites, Ceno-Al.
Thanks for joining us on today's very special episode, Ceno-Al. Very impressive that you are now leading the Cenobites. How does it feel?
Yes, excuse me, sorry about that. Yes, so the discussion of the Cenobites, the leadership has. Sorry about that. Yeah, as the new
You
leader of the
had something caught in your
Cenobites,
throat.
something's caught in my throat. I
Maybe
think
one
it's
of
the
those needles
last.
you have sticking out of your face.
It's the last person we were eating. Actually, it's
Oh, that
delicious,
makes sense. And I,
delicious.
I really appreciate you letting me use your face as a pincushion. That's been very helpful for
It's
all of
actually
my
very
my sewing. Yeah, it's like acupuncture.
exactly. That's what I was about to say. It's very acupuncture-esque. We Cenobites have been misunderstood this entire time. That's all I will say.
Well, the Cenobites, as I understand, are experts in both pain and pleasure. And pain is something I have become very familiar with over the last 2 months that we've been away. So we did have a June episode planned.
No, we
Um,
had a May
we
episode
had a May
planned.
episode planned that was going to be, I was really excited for it because it was all about what we wanted different at FanFest next year. I had so many really good ideas. Al, I'm sure, would have had things he came up with on the spot that would have been really interesting. And we were all set to record it. And I was away with my nephew for that weekend. And I broke my arm. It was a very intense break where both bones in the farm were broken. It needed surgery. And right after that, I really couldn't even sit at a desk. I had to be kind of lying with my arm elevated for a while. So I was in
Yeah,
traction. And by the time I was out, we'd already missed for one episode and we were traveling for work. So we missed again for June. But so this one's kind of June. It's early July still. Um,
yeah,
so we're back. We're sorry to have missed you for the FanFest recap. We're going to save FanFest now for after Horror Nights because we are really now in the thick of Horror Nights, not really so much just speculation anymore, but announcements have been coming out. We can see things happening in the park. Midsummer Scream is fast approaching. So we're really in the thick of Horror Nights news, and we are back to bring you all the news, speculation, and discussion you could ever want about
it's
Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood exclusively.
exclusively. Yeah,
Exclusively.
no, it was high key hilarious because we were set to record like that day. I
Yeah.
think it was that day we were supposed to record in the evening.
Yeah, I
Then
was
you sent me
flying
a
back
message.
that evening, and I did not make that flight.
Yeah,
So I was at the hospital.
you texted me. I broke my arm, and I remember going, "What?"
Yeah.
And like low key, I almost wanted to send you a message going, "But we're still recording, right?"
Well, we're
Oh,
sorry we missed that, but we are happy to be back, so we hope you've enjoyed re-listening to the FanFest episode over and over and just reliving that wonderful evening as many times as you can. And we're looking forward to talking about that next year. Well, not really next year, but the end of this year. But we got to get
yeah.
through Horror Nights first. Since Horror Nights is nigh. 4th of July is now past. So we are officially in Halloween season. I believe that's how it works. It's just whatever is the next major holiday, which there's this big stretch between 4th of July and Halloween. So we're in Summerween now. So our Summerween
Summerween.
special, we're going to give you all the updates for Halloween Horror Nights.
I mean, if you really think about it, it's also Summer Chris with Christmas right after.
No, 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 no. Don't start with that. You're going to upset yourself.
I know. I always get upset. No, it's definitely Halloween spooky season time. I'm definitely starting to see a lot of decorations and like the candy
Yeah, they're selling
and
decorations.
ads.
I heard the day after was like July 5th. I knew people who went to the mall and they were like, "Yeah, the Halloween store is already up."
Mm-hmm.
Took one day.
Spirit Halloween, man.
Yep.
It's about to be opening.
So let's talk about Halloween Horror Nights. So this year, I mean, last year it was such a knockout, perfect grand slam of a Halloween Horror Nights. Would you agree?
You're always very nice. I like that about you.
Yep.
Uh, I enjoyed my time. We're getting better time slots this year, so hopefully it's even better this time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
it was pretty good. I liked it.
last year was pretty good. I think that's an understatement when you look at. Do you remember the crowds they were pulling in last year were crazy, and even with the
Hmm.
crowds, people still wanted to come because they just had banger after banger after banger for their IP lineup. Even I mean, it was like the week maze was like Fallout, which the year before would have been a top 3 maze. So it
Yeah.
was a real step up. And what I've been saying in all our spec episodes has always been, look, they really nailed it last year. It's gonna be really hard to be at that level again. So you got to expect them to take the foot off the gas a little bit. And based on what we are seeing, I feel like maybe a little bit, but it feels like they're not resting on their laurels. It feels like they went out, they got some big hits. They got one made in particular that I'm very excited about. Um, and I'm very
Uh,
excited for this year. I think this is going to be another great year. They're also
oh,
going to be
that's
opening the roller coaster before Halloween Horror Nights, which I don't think I can go
Amelia.
on because I have a broken arm to deal
That's
with.
right. You
So
can't.
I think we'll have to wait for FanFest to do our roller coaster review. But
As many of you may not know, I hate roller coasters.
yes,
Uh,
only
because
our
what?
only our most loyal listeners will know that.
Yeah. Main reason because when you're me tall, which is about 6'4", 6'5", every beam that you run across feels like it's about to hit you. And if you raise your arms, you feel like you're gonna reach the bottom with no arms. So roller coasters and me are were never friendly.
Yeah,
I've gone in the past and I was like, and I promised you Undead Ed one time
one
on the
time.
roller coaster.
But it's
And
probably not gonna be this
this
time.
year,
We're like Terrence Howard and Iron Man. We looked at the Iron Man, he was like, "Next time." That's me. That's me with,
yeah,
that's a really specific reference I pulled out, but next
yeah.
time. It's gonna be
At
next time.
at this rate, it's gonna be either our Christmas episode if we go around that time, or FanFest.
Yeah, it'll probably be FanFest. So let's talk about all we missed because we missed some news. So I think the first thing that happened for Horror Nights was a surprise ticket drop.
Hmm.
This happened and it happened while my arm was still healed. I
Recuperating.
remember that. So it must have been in May, which we were anticipating June. I feel like historically it's been in June. I really should have looked it up, but all I have is a feeling, and my feeling is that this was early. I remember opening up just news one day. I get emails based on my leaker form. Just an email from Universal where it was, "Hey, tickets are out right now." And it was in the morning, it was before noon, and I was already done with my morning calls, so I had 30 minutes to spare. I immediately got on, our text thread with our other friend who comes with us, and I was like, "Guys, I really wanna get a good time slot. Can we do the first weekend?" And y to your credit, both you and our other friend, you were unusually fast responding and saying, "Yes, we're good."
Yeah.
And we got the 5 o'clock tour, which is the earliest VIP tour. We've never gotten the earliest tour we've always wanted. We've never gotten it for the first Saturday. So we were really excited to get that. I don't mind divulging that because it's already sold out. So our stalkers can't join us on that tour unless you thought ahead and got it well before this episode. In which case, congratulations, we'll give you some free
Which
merch.
last year they did. No.
So we're excited.
Uh,
Yeah, that's what Al was saying. We didn't we have a better time slot. Last year, I think we were at the 6:20 time slot, something like that, and losing that hour of time at the end, you really felt it. So we're really maximizing our time this year. We do have an older episode all about the different tickets. If you're looking to go for the first time this year, all that information is still good. We do recommend you look into getting at least Universal Express. I think if you're listening to this podcast, if you're that invested in Horror Nights, and you're listening to a podcast about Horror Nights, you should get the Express Pass. The general pass is really for the ultra casual people who only want to do, maybe 2 or 3 mazes in the night. If you're trying to do the whole thing, just knuckle under and buy the Express Pass. If you're a super fan, which maybe you are, the VIP experience, we've been doing it for what was it? This is our third year or fourth year doing it.
Third or fourth, yeah.
Yeah, I think fourth actually.
20, we started in 22. So yeah, fourth
And
year.
yeah, when you compare what you're paying for this and the perks you get, and just compared to the first of all, the price of the regular express ticket, and then similar pricing out in the theme park industry, both for Universal and for Disney. I feel like it's actually a value. It's not cheap, but it doesn't feel like I'm overpaying for what I get for this every year. There's a few exclusive things you get to do, which are fun. So if you are a super fan, I do think you should strongly consider getting a VIP ticket. It's a great time, but just try to get an earlier time slot. So you're going to have a guided tour, and it is better to do it earlier rather than later, because you're going to have an hour for meal before. So if you're starting at the 5 o'clock tour, your meal starts at 4, and you will then begin your tour right when the actual Horror Nights begin. So you're maximizing your time. This year also, they are opening the roller coaster, but only for certain tiers of tickets. So if you're going with general, you will not have access to the new Fast and Furious supercharged. That's not supercharged. I'm sorry. Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift roller coaster. No one would ever want to go on Fast and Furious supercharged with an exclusive ticket. It was the worst attraction they've ever done. Um, but if that's important to you, just check the information. I believe any level of Universal Express will get you in, but it's might be worth just double checking if that's important to you. That's all I really got for the tickets. The dates are fairly standard, I think. Starting in early September, like they always do. That first weekend's probably going to be hot. It usually is. The first 2 or 3 weekends in September in LA usually hot. So if you really want more of that fall Halloween kind of vibe, where it's going to be cooler, go later in October. But be aware, the later tickets are also more expensive. The closer you get to Halloween, the more expensive the ticket is. And this also is a rare year where Halloween is on a Sunday. So it's a weekend Halloween. Actually,
I
no, it's
thought it
on a
was
Saturday.
Saturday. Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's going to
Saturday.
be the most, usually Halloween's middle of the week. So it's actually a cheaper ticket. This year it will be the most expensive ticket, also expected to be super slammed. Um, and if you want to save, you can usually go in early November. They run one extra weekend, and that will be post Halloween, but it is cool. And usually that's a bit of a looser time.
Yeah. Then they
Anything
immediately
else to say
switch into
about tickets?
Grinchmas. No,
Yeah, they're getting ready for
definitely do
Grinchmas.
not get general is only if you're there to be chill and not
Yeah.
go through all the houses. Uh, I did Express last year, I think, or a year before that. After RIP, it was definitely a difference in terms of, hey, we don't get the tram and we don't get the buffet, but it was like
Yeah.
whatever. We did get through all the houses, so definitely at minimum Express. However,
And yeah,
Express
keep going.
is the new general, so be aware about that too.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't actually go with Express. I only ever go once. But what I heard reported was for some of the most popular mazes like Terrifier, the Express line, not the general, the Express line was like a 40-minute wait, because
Uh-huh.
there is a VIP line that cuts the Express line. There's 3 tiers of lines, and the general was always about 2 hours. So you do
Yeah,
get some really horrific waits for general.
yeah, we went last year, and yeah, because we saw Art as Express people, and that's when Art stopping to talk with people for longer than like 10 seconds or something because people started touching him.
Oh yeah,
And,
he
and
doesn't
so
like
yeah,
that.
no, he only touches you. You don't touch him.
Yeah. And usually
Uh,
there's some kind of weapon in his hand and he's really just touching you with the weapon.
details, details, details. No, definitely, express is the way to go if you don't wanna spend too much, but if you're willing to double that price, it's definitely RIP. Definitely worth it. You don't feel like you're getting ripped off too much. You do g what's included is the of course, the meal, the free meal, the
The
tram ride.
buffet. Now, I will
Uh,
say, because at this point we're doing a deep dive on VIP, so why am I holding back? You get a buffet meal. It's in what is usually the like the French area of the theme park, right off kind of the main drag. We ate there during the day, and it was maybe the worst theme park food I ever had. Remember that? You got like a quiche. It was terrible.
the quiche was stupid. It was
It was
so
really bad.
expensive,
But
and
the
they forgot about my quiche too. I was so
Yeah,
mad.
to go remind them. But the buffet is nicer. I will say it's gotten worse over the 3 or 4 years we've done this. Every year it's been a little worse.
A little
But
lacking.
it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
I mean, it's unlimited. You can go back
Yeah.
and get as much as you want.
Yeah, it's nice to have kind of that home base. Again, if you're really a crazy horror nerd like us and you're hitting it really hard, trying to do everything, it's nice to be able to go back and they have coffee out throughout the night. So you can go back and get a Coke or
Oh,
coffee to
that
kind of
that
recharge and
coffee
rest.
really helps out to get
It
you
helps you
that
get that
extra
second win.
boost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're an elder horror nerd like us.
And definitely, especially with the scare actors, they do tend to make visits there specifically for us, and you can get more of a photo shoot thing going
Yeah, they
on.
have a special photo shoot there, and then on the Terror Tram, this has been new. It's only been really the last 3 years now. The first year they didn't do this, but they have, an exclusive little pavilion where you go through and you do different photos that's only available on the VIP tour.
Yeah, definitely. And it's especially if you want to take photos with those very like specific characters, definitely worth it because the
Which
lines are
we don't know what it
shorter.
is yet.
Yeah, you don't
Maybe it's
know.
Blumhouse again. Are you excited for your
God,
3rd picture with Megan?
Megan the robot.
Yeah, your 20th
No.
favorite horror movie of all time, according to you.
No, 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 no. Don't remind me. We've all made
Uh,
mistakes in our past when we were young and
it could
stupid.
have been worse. You could have said Megan too.
Ugh. I know when to quit.
All right. So that's the tickets. Again, we have a whole episode about this. Not much has changed. Let's talk about what is different this year. Let's go through the mazes that were announced in the order they were announced. And you're going to actually recognize all of these from our speculation. Part of that is informed by the wider community. But 2 of these, I feel like we actually called the shot on well before there was the community speculation maps were out on. So I'm rather pleased with ourselves. Anyways, the first one is Sinners. This is one we've talked about before. It is a movie, came out last year. Michael B. Jordan playing a double role as 2 twins, Smoke and Stack, who are gangsters in, I believe, Chicago in the 20s. And they come back home to Mississippi to open a juke joint where they are then beset by these Irish step dancing vampires. And they're kind of under siege. And it won didn't win Best Picture. It won Best Actor at the
Uh-huh.
Oscars. It was nominated for a whole slew of awards. Very well regarded picture in kind of film circles, cinema, elevated. Um, Horror people loved it too for the scares, but it was more it got more of a reception in terms this is a great film, not like this is really scary.
Yeah, yeah.
So vampires in the rural South in the 20s has a big
Mississippi.
music element. And from what we've heard, they haven't released too much information about this, but they're trying to incorporate some of that music into the base. So they'll have maybe dancing vampires, maybe a scene of dancing vampires. Alvaro, are you excited for dancing Irish vampires?
Are they doing the Irish jig?
They'll be
That's be
doing it, yeah, some kind of
hilarious.
Irish jig.
Damn, I hope they ask us to for an invitation before they start that. No,
You gonna bring some Lucky Charms?
dude, I'm about to ask them for their pot of gold. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell? Uh,
Vampires or
I
leprechauns?
they're both Irish to me. It's fine. No, it's gonna be interesting. First off, starting off with, I have not watched the film. correction, I watched the first 30 minutes, and even though Undead Ed mentioned that this movie won a bunch of awards, won a bunch, it was very well critiqued. I have not gone past the first 30 minutes because it did not capture my attention, and I don't know if I'm going to watch it before we go.
I always try to watch the things before I go. Although I failed, I didn't watch Five Nights at Freddy's before we went last year. I've watched it now. Um,
What'd you
so if it
think?
comes back, I'll be ready. It
Did
was
you watch
better
the
than I
second
thought it
one?
would be. It wasn't scary, but it was not. I didn't not enjoy it. You know,
Yeah,
for the cost of my Peacock subscription, it was fun.
it's nostalgia. That's what it is.
I have no
No,
nostalgia for it. I thought it was
yeah,
fun.
but definitely Sinners. I'm gonna go back to it. I've read a lot of papers about Sinners and all the stuff that they incorporated in it, so I was really like excited to watch it. It's just that the buildup is where I was a little bored. I'm sure once the action starts, it's really it's gonna be a great film. But yeah, I got a little like bored in the beginning, so I'm
Not
gonna.
your kind of movie.
Yeah, no, when they
You
said it
like
was
movies
horror,
where there's a robot girl who's kind of also a maid who does TikTok dances, and then she starts killing people.
not necessarily, but I wanted the dying to start faster. Like,
Yeah, it's
why
not
is everyone still alive?
like, it's a horror movie, it's got vampires, it's got that supernatural element to it, but I don't it's not like a slasher movie. It's not even like, I don't think, like The Babadook, like that kind of elevated horror where it's really relying on the creep factor. It's
That's
more like
suspense.
it's a
Yeah,
movie, right? It's just a
yeah.
it's a movie that has horror elements, and you have to give it a genre, so it's in the horror genre, but it's not as horrific as a horror movie. But we've talked many times on this podcast about, do these Horror Nights mazes need to be a strictly horror property? Does it need to be, Nightmare on Elm Street kind of horror? And we've always said no. You can take anything that's kind of has a horror connection and make a good maze out of it. And I think that's what they'll be able to do here. I think they released this one first because it had a little extra buzz around it. It's kind of, I mean, Horror Nights, I don't think usually gets to do Academy Award winning movies, turn them into mazes. That's kind of unique.
Yeah.
They've done like The Shining and Exorcist, so those are horror movies that are very well regarded in the film pantheon, but nothing like this where a movie hits the Oscars hard and then it's at Horror Nights the next year. I think that's not very novel for them. And it could draw in a whole new crowd to the event, which would be great if it's not small children.
I definitely we definitely talked about this and it especially like when it came to movies such as like The Last of Us, which I guess The Last of Us is a video game, so it's not a movie and a translation of that. And the what was the other one that we talked about? Not the there was also
Silent Hill,
no,
Resident Evil,
son, no, no, none of those. It's just
Luigi's
like
Mansion.
yes, exactly. No, it's just like things that don't necessarily have. Oh, Fallout.
Yeah,
Fallout.
Fallout's a good example.
Fallout's a good example. It has like kind of horror themes because of all like the zombie
Yeah,
people.
like the ghoul is like a zombie.
Yeah, so it's like
There's monsters, people
yeah,
die.
but and like when we went through the maze, like the visuals were nice, but was it scary? It was not.
But
So
this is
it's like
vampires. I mean, this is much more of in the Horror Nights wheelhouse.
yes, but when I think vampires, I always have like this Dracula like image, like
Well, it'll be a new kind of vampire. I'm impressed you didn't say Twilight.
no, no, this is nighttime. They're not gonna sparkle.
Yeah. So it'll be a
Yeah.
new take on vampires for you because you haven't seen past the first 30 minutes of the movie where the vampires
Yes.
start showing up.
For all I know, they do get sparkly. Shoot.
So I don't know, I think this will be, I mean, this is definitely going to go heavy in the promotional material. I think it is going to draw people in. I think it'll be good. I think vampires, kind of a unique setting, should be a fun time. I would say my hype level is, what's our are we saying average is 5? So I'm maybe like a 6.
Well, It's between 1 to 10, where 1's like, "I don't care." 10's like, "Holy crap, I can't freaking
I mean, are
wait."
we using like 5 is the average or 7 is average?
5. It's the
Okay, so I
middle.
would say because it's this is a little above average. Because I know this isn't a great award-winning film. I'm very intrigued by what they do with that whole music element because we've talked about before how they've struggled to have an interesting audio maze. They did A Quiet Place, and we thought they really kind of dropped the ball on having the audio be a part. It just felt like I was walking through the sounds of any other Horror Nights maze, so you get the sound bleed from different rooms, just kind of ruined that quiet effect. So I'm
Mhm,
interested to see how they can turn it around and say we're gonna do something unique with the music. We've seen music mazes before with, all these slash mazes we've had, but this is a different idea, so I'm very interested to see how that works. I think anything with vampires, I'm into it. A little different from the usual zombie mazes we get. So
mhm.
it's a little more than just average maze for me.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting. I can already foresee a lot of the music, probably some smell-o-vision because it's Mississippi, so it's gonna have, like, that swampy look, and
Yeah.
which is where the location is, like, in the woods.
Yeah, it's
So
a cool setting in kind of the rural 20s South. It's
yeah.
a little bit reminiscent of the Firefly Compound Bayou they did for the WWE thing, which was also a southern maze, but that was Southern Bayou, and this is more, you know, upland, inland. So,
Yeah.
little different, but, I thought the setting for that was the most interesting part of the whole experience. So, using a setting that's not really the same, but a little bit in that same genre, kind of Southern Gothic, that intrigues me as well.
We'll see how they, happen to translate the movie into a maze. I'm excited.
Do
They're
y
probably gonna do a lot of jump scares.
Yeah, I think it'll be a decently scary maze with the vampires. There's good blood effects you can do from that. Um, do you think they will just try to cast scare actors who look like Michael B. Jordan, or will there be a Michael B. Jordan mask they have to wear?
I wanna say there's probably gonna be a mask.
I hope there's not a mask. Those never look good.
No, it is what it is.
Uh, all right.
Do they have to have the abs like Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah, they have to be as muscular. They have to be ready for Black Panther too.
There you go.
Um, what's your level? So I was at a 6. You sound pessimistic, but where are you at?
I'm at like a 4. I'm just like,
Ooh, so you would rather like a replacement level maze come than this if you're at 4.
yes, but this is only because I haven't watched it, and after my first 30 minutes, my view of it was not that great. So I'm just like, hmm. But however, once I get past those 30 minutes, if the middle to the end blows me out of water, next episode you're gonna be like, where after we, especially after, because I think the next episode is gonna be, no, it's not gonna be Horror Nights. It's gonna be Midsummer.
Yeah,
So
that's after this.
yeah,
You're
at the
jumping
next
ahead
episode,
on our worksheet. That's at the
yeah.
end.
I know, but hold on.
Let's
In our
go in
next
order.
episode, when we talk about Midsummer, I'm gonna be like, I've watched the
Maybe
film. Oh my god,
maybe we'll
guys,
throw in
my
a
excitement
Sinners review.
is so much more now.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna be writing Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan apology letters live on air.
Exactly. That's probably what's gonna happen. I'm just not there yet. I'm just
Alright.
not there yet.
Well,
Trust the process, guys. Trust the process.
let's talk about the next maze that was announced, which for me was not a surprise because I called this one
Two
in the
years ago.
first speculation we ever did for this year. There was a lot of doubt from the speculation community because some leakers said it wasn't coming. And this franchise is kind of a stigma amongst the kind of that leaker community because they didn't like some of the previous mazes. But I said, no, there's no way they missed this one. It has to be coming. I held that line all the way through and I was proven right because I'm a genius. Stranger Things season 5 coming to Halloween Horror Nights, closing out the series. Ceno-Al, what's your reaction?
I knew I knew that you were right. I just was like, won't they announce
It
it?
would have been
Or
very
is this
disappointing because they've done Stranger Things season 1, Stranger Things season 2. They didn't do season 3.
They
They did
skipped
Stranger
it.
Things season 4. That's 3 out of the 5. This is the last season of Stranger Things until they do a Netflix reunion in 20 years. So this is really good, the last hurrah. I think after this will be the closing the door on Stranger Things season 5. And what I said, and I think it still bears to keep in mind, last time we talked about this was for a whole generation. That actually, it's not ours, but it's really the Gen Z generation. This was the gateway for so many of them to get into horror. This one and Freddy's was similar. This came out before and just introduced the horror to a whole much bigger audience. I mean, this was the biggest show in the world for years. And to have it at the horror and have that representation at horror nights, I think it would be such a disservice to just skip out the final season. Again, that wasn't my favorite season. I would say better than season 3, but worse than all the other seasons, but not bad. Not like wasn't like Game of Thrones level where the ending
Oh
kind of
God,
obliterated the whole series for me.
don't bring
Um,
up Game of Thrones season 8, episode
yeah,
8.
I would. That was going to. This is a fun fact. This is a very rare fact that I'm going to release on air. Game of Thrones was going to be a house at Horror Nights that year, and they yanked it because another house leaked. Little fun fact for you. That's a very unknown thing. Very few people know that, so now it's out there in the world. So sorry. But anyways, talking about Stranger Things. You haven't seen? Have you seen season 5 yet? No. I guess see on our
No, I
spreadsheet it
have.
says no.
Yeah. No, because if I watch season 5, then it's over and it's done, and
Oh,
Stranger Things will always live in my mind and
yeah. I
will
kind of
forever
even
live in
had a
my heart.
Stranger Things. I was playing Dead by Daylight. It's this horror video game I like, and I took a big break from it because I was very annoyed I kept losing, so I took a big break, and I came back, and they have all the Stranger Things stuff in it now, and I was kind of playing it, I was doing the music, I was really getting back in that vibe, and this series so weaponized nostalgia that you do kind of have that. There's always been something bittersweet about this
Uh,
series, and I think they really nailed that with the actual ending, without going into details, I won't spoil it for you or anyone else. But I think the ending they nailed so well. I think this season, the horror leaned more into action than just horror, which is disappointing because I thought season 4 did such a good job of making it horror, and there was like a horror monster and not just we're fighting and we're using our psychic powers to get away. And season 5, the protagonists were a little too capable against the monsters.
uh,
But it had the character moments, but it's hard to the character moments don't make for a great Horror Nights maze. But I think there was enough action that could be translated into something jumping out at you in a unique setting. You're in enough different locations around both the town of Hawkins and seeing some new things in the Upside Down. That's going to be a diverse group of, if not characters, a diverse group of settings that you're walking through that I think are going to have really fun sets that they realize they'll be able to use all the monsters from the series, which are mostly the Demogorgons and the Demodogs and the Vecna character himself. And Vecna also has a few different forms in season 5. So it should be a better variety of characters. We talked about this for season 4. The maze was every scared jump scare was Vecna, Vecna again, Vecna again. Oh, a military guy, Vecna, Vecna, Vecna. Steve Harrington, for some reason, Vecna, 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 done. So I think for season 5, you're going to have a mix of the Demogorgon, Demodog, Vecna, Demogorgon again, different Vecna. So I think that's going to be improved. Mainly, I just feel like it's gonna be give kind of that bittersweet feeling of, okay, I already saw the end of the show, and I kind of had that bittersweetness, and this is the last time I'm gonna be doing a Horror Nights maze. And we've been doing this not the very first time, but for so many years we've been doing Horror Nights, Stranger Things. So I'm glad that I get to close it out properly.
exactly. You got to enjoy that. I
You're in
don't want to
denial.
watch it. Yeah. It's been like what, 10, almost 10 years?
I think it has.
So, yeah. I mean, these kids are no longer kids.
I
They're
remember
Millie
my
Bobby
parents
Brown is
were
married
in
with a kid.
yeah, to Not to reveal too much
Bon
about my
Jovi.
personal life, but my parents were in Hong Kong when season 1 came out. They were watching it on Netflix, and they were telling me how good it was. I was just thinking, "Oh, wow, that was" we were still in college. It was so long ago,
Exactly.
more than 10 years then, if we were still in
we were
college.
wee children
Yeah,
at that time.
so they took a long time making this show. Um, so I'm excited. I'm also very interested to see if they have a food offering again for this, because I think it was fun that they had the pizza place. It does some fun things with the food. So, some kind of weird Eggo waffle, please, would be nice.
No, not waffles for dinner. Well, I'm not 22
I
anymore.
wanna see some Eggos. Oh, I wanna see 11 Eggos on the buffet line for the VIPs.
If you can eat 11 Eggos that night, I will pay for them.
Okay,
But you have to
lock
be
it
in
in.
one sitting. In one
Lock it
sitting.
in.
In one
Lock it in.
sitting, you have to
No
eat,
syrup.
yeah.
No syrup, just the
Hey,
waffle.
yo.
Lock it in.
Eat It has to be whatever Eggo size they sell. It's probably
Yeah,
gonna be
but
huge.
yep, no, it'll be normal.
Would you eat
Yep.
11?
11's a young girl. She doesn't eat giant waffles. She eats normal sized waffles.
But would you eat 11 waffles?
Oh, no, I would not eat 11.
That's exactly what
I
I'm
will eat
saying.
one 11-sized waffle.
No, yeah, I was like, "No, you have to eat 11 quantity waffles."
But, we're there on opening weekend, so maybe some of the cast will be there with us.
"Hey, Millie Bobby Brown, let's go. Take an Eggo box. Can you sign my Eggo box, please?"
That's a good idea. She probably would.
Yeah. I was just gonna be hilarious trying to get that through security, like, "Why?"
So, I don't
"Please."
have too much more to say about this. I would say my hype level, Imma say an 8. I was going between 7 and 8, but I'm gonna give it a little nod just for the emotionality of the thing. Even if I think it's not gonna be a super scary maze, I think it'll be good, it'll be entertaining, probably worth 2 run-throughs, and, I think it'll be a nice I'm very happy that we're closing the chapter and not just leaving something undone for
I
Horror Nights
think
and Stranger Things.
the next one's gonna be similar. I think was it instead of when they skip season 3, this there might be the next one would be like a Stranger Things universe.
Well, I wouldn't we talked about that too, last time we talked about it, so those we were speculating maybe they'll do a universe. I would not mind it coming back in 2 or 3 years as a Stranger Things, all the seasons, kind of a mashup, and just doing the scary scenes. I'd be down for that. I don't know if Netflix is gonna go for it. I don't know if Universal's gonna wanna pay the licensing fees to bring it out 2 or 3 years after it's done, but we'll see. Maybe it'll stay alive.
We'll see.
Alright, so
Especially
I'm an
like
8. Where are you? What's your level?
11.
Okay. I'm gonna let that one slide. That's pretty good. Could
Thank you.
not be more excited.
Yeah, no, I definitely am. I'm excited for it. I'm going to watch the last season between now and then.
Okay.
So I'm definitely
We are
gonna do
not
that.
going to do a full series review. I thought that would be fun to like rank the seasons, but I'm not gonna watch the whole series between now and then.
That's a lot of show to
One
watch
of
in
these days,
between
when
then and
we're
now.
really low on episode ideas, we'll pull that one out of the hat.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next maze.
This one.
Do you have anything else for Stranger Things, or we get to move on?
Let's I'm on pins and needles for the next one.
All right, we're gonna go on to more normal things, but maybe strange in some other ways. So this is another one that I called early based on some of the things that were happening around this IP, and I thought this is one that people have been wanting at Horror Nights for a long time. After it was announced, Murdy called it one of the white whales, which is very accurate, and that's something Horror Nights has never done licensed properly. The fans really want it. Murdy really wanted it, but the way the IP was structured, just the rights holders were not willing, but the rights recently had reverted back to the original creator, and he was a lot more amenable. I saw, hey, he's letting stuff happen. So maybe this is the year. One of my personal favorite horror movies of all time, Hellraiser.
What?
Uh, Ceno-Al's actually home franchise. It's all about the Cenobites, who he now leads.
Yes.
We actually have a review of this. It's in, I think, episode 7. It's kind of an obscure episode, but it was on my
Yeah.
top horror movies of all time countdown that we never really gone back to. We keep meaning to. Um, and when I
No, that
rewatched it
was
for that, I was like, I rated this one too low. Like it was in my top 20, but it really should have been in my top 10. The really unique storyline incorporating this weird kind of BDSM energy into the horror realm, which makes the whole thing just a little tweaky and a little more scary. Really great gore effects for the 80s. And I love the 80s gore effects the most because there's this level of unreality around them that just make it fun to watch without being gross. And that's not true for everyone. I know a lot of people I've tried to show this to are like, Undead Ed, this was disgusting, and I turned it off in 10 minutes, and I'm like, "Okay, that's fair."
yeah.
But I but I loved it. And actually, I think a pretty interesting plot. It's more than just chase monster around. It's a lot more about corruption of the human soul and innocence being corrupted by, their own desires. So, a lot going on in that movie. One of my favorites. Really excited to see it come. Uh, this is not
I
just
mean, you did open the box.
yeah, this isn't just Hellraiser, the first movie, which is, not to put too much shade on the franchise. That first one's really the second one's okay, but the first one's really the only good movie in the franchise, and this Maze is going to be a bit of a mashup of the first 3 movies. Each one movie that went on, it got a little more ridiculous. I
I
believe in the
mean,
3rd one, there's a Cenobite who shoots CDs out of his head. If that's not the 3rd one, that's a later one. Um, they get just silly as they go. So this is gonna have I think the reason is they wanna have a more variety of scenes because in Hellraiser 2, they go to the Cenobites, kind of their home, which is a Cenobite labyrinth, and in season 3 I mean, not season,
episode.
the
I mean,
3rd
movie
one,
three.
the
Yeah.
Cenobites are kind of unleashed on Earth to wreak havoc. So it's gonna be a
No.
greater variety of Cenobite designs, a greater variety of sets to walk through. I would expect this to be a very gory maze because again, that's something these movies were known for at the time. Was this was kind of a next level more than a Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th would have dared. It was almost the Terrifier of its time, really. If you think about the level of gore that they went to for the 80s, if you watch Hellraiser and Terrifier 2 back to back, Terrifier 2 would have much more gore. And we had Terrifier Maze last year, so I don't know if it's really going to get to that level, but it's definitely going to be this will be the gore maze for the year, I think. What do you have to
It
say, Alvaro? Did you like Hellraiser when I made you watch it, or did it gross you out?
it was hilarious. Just the novelty of it. I in a way, it was just so random. It was like the
It's very
most.
unique, and it's not even structured
Yeah.
like a slasher, even though he's kind of the Pinhead character is in that kind of horror pantheon. But the movie is not structured like a slasher movie.
It almost felt like there was no real rhyme or reason. It was just like, "This is what we're gonna give you, and you're gonna enjoy it." And, no, especially just because, the whole idea of the Cenobites was just so random. Um, no shade to my people, it was. Uh,
No, it
um,
is a really weird idea that
yeah.
there are these
I remember
demons and they
yeah,
love pain because they're into I don't even know what the term is, but it's when pain gives you like a sexual pleasure. So they're kind of getting off on the pain that they inflict and that they receive. So they're
yeah,
always like the main guy, he has pins all in his head, his pinhead.
yeah.
Um, and it
I think
hurts, but
it's
he likes that.
y I think I said it back when we did the episode, which mind you, this was April 20 I looked it up. It was April of 2024, so 2
We were
years
so
ago.
innocent then.
Yes, we were so innocent in Irvine. Um,
With no
it
air
was
conditioning.
um, it was such a weird episode of I think I said it, it was like, I've never seen kink horror. This is
Yeah,
kink horror.
that would be probably the first kink horror.
Yeah. I was like, "Wow, okay, interesting." And then the chatterer and then the female Cenobite,
Really
I was just
unique
like
designs. The Chatterer,
yeah.
the female's name is Deep Throat, because her neck is open, and, Butterball is the 4th one.
Yeah, the butterball, as you can imagine, was the biggest one
Mhm.
in terms
It
of
looks like a big
width.
ball of butter.
Exactly. They did not have Ozempic in, the Cenobite world.
No, he coulda used it.
No, it's definitely like a very like niche style. Like okay, you watch Rocky Horror Picture Show, you're like, oh wow, that's sexy, and it's has
That's
horror in the
not what I
name.
thought when I watched Rocky Horror Picture Show.
You do not think that? Wow, wow.
All right.
I can't believe you said that
Got a
out loud.
got a big Tim Curry fan over here.
That man just does something when he puts on that red lipstick and starts
Mm.
dancing. You're just like, wow, I'm transported into Transylvania.
Sweet Transylvania.
There you go, sweet Transylvania. I apologize. No, it's just like it's a horror comedy, and then this is like kink horror.
Yeah,
It's
that's actually an interesting way to think about it, is Rocky Horror kind of plays that kind of idea of, because Rocky Horror is a send up of a very overdone 50s style monster movie where they end up in the monster castle and the random monsters are trying to kill them, except in Rocky Horror, instead of trying to kill them, the monster is just trying to sleep with them, which is
exactly,
actually it is actually pretty funny. It is a I think Rocky Horror is hilarious. I think people don't appreciate it as a comedy anymore. I think it's a hilarious movie.
which is almost
Um,
what the Cenobites want to do to you, except
right. This one plays it
mm,
a lot straighter in the horror department. Not straight
yeah.
that way, because I don't think the Cenobites really care. But
No, they
in
don't.
terms of how it's like, yeah, it's not funny that they're trying to give you the
It's
pleasure,
not. You're
because
not
their
gonna.
idea is not just, oh, you're gonna sleep together. We're gonna tear you apart with hooks, and that's gonna be nice for you somehow.
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy being shredded, and you're like,
Right.
oh,
And I mean, what
you
makes
mean
Hellraiser
literally?
actually a great movie is it doesn't, these Cenobites, and we've been talking about them the whole time, because this is also what I imagine the Maze is going to focus on. The actual film is all about the characters, and the main villain is not the Cenobites, but this Frank Cotton character who's the one who initially summons them, and he's been corrupted by his own desires of getting control of him. It's all about how the other characters in the film react to being transported into the Frank Hutton's world of just total hedonism, and which
Yeah,
characters are able to stand against it and which ones succumb, and the struggles they all have, and that's what makes it a great movie. It's very well written with great characters. What's going to make it a great Horror Nights maze is the gore effects, and the monster characters are very unique and very exciting. They announced that Doug Bradley, who played Pinhead, he has a very iconic, deep, booming voice for the character, is actually reprising the role and performing new voice lines that will be featured in the maze. So for us Hellraiser fans, that's gonna be really cool to hear some original material from him.
man. He gave me the voice lessons for the intro.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He's a fan of the program. Listens to every episode, writes us fan mail, coming to Bradley. Enough. No more
Exactly.
fan mail from you. Enough.
No, I foresee a lot of like black tunnels with flashing lights, just because that's almost what the Cenobite world was, and it's gonna be gory in terms of Cenobite version of gore, not really like horror gore.
I think it'll just be gory, honestly. I think you're underestimating this one.
Yeah, I will say like
I
the
think you haven't seen the
visuals.
sequels.
No, and we're gonna keep it that way because it
We don't
sounds
want to
spooky as
damage your
hell.
innocent eyes.
Uh-huh. Exactly. My sweet, sweet, undamaged soul. I cannot let it be
So
damaged that way.
for
No,
me, and my final estimation of this one, if you haven't been able to tell, I'm a big fan of Hellraiser. Not really the sequels, but the original movie is so great, and those character designs are just scary in a very unique way. So I give this one a 10. This is definitely one of my white whales for Horror Nights, and I'm thrilled it's finally coming. Great on Clive Barker. Clive Barker was the original writer. There's a law in California now that says the rights to a film revert back to the screenwriter after, I think, 25 years, something like that. So the time came up. The original IP holders no longer control the IP. Clive Barker has actually worked with Horror Nights before for original Maze concepts. So they approached him about Hellraiser, and he said, "Of course, let's do it." So
let's
I
go
love
for
that
it.
the original creator is probably not on board in terms of helping to design the maze, but he's on board, he's enthusiastic about it. I love they brought the original actor back to reprise the role. It's this maze is it's a the franchise is a perfect fit, so this is probably going to be the highlight of the season. Looking at what else is speculated, what else is out there, I don't think anything else will surpass this for me, but I love my 80s horror. Al, where are you for Hellraiser, The Maze?
I think I'm at a solid like 8 to 9.
Oh, that's
It's
really
gonna
high for
be
you.
yeah.
That's like a
It
10.
it almost, not there. We're not rounding. Um
On your scale, if we're going on a curve, that's like 100% because it's never gonna get higher than 8 or 9.
the last one was 11.
Okay. That one slipped through.
Uh it's I'm excited for this one. It's so random that you just can't be but excited to see it because it's just like it's so different. I'm
Yeah, it's
excited because
very
it's
80s. I
different.
mean, they wouldn't make this movie today, and if they did, it wouldn't be good.
Oh god, no, no, no,
Yeah,
no. This was not be made today.
yeah. Because it feels like the subjects then were taboo in a way that now we're supposed to be more open about everything and nice, and you lose the horror element. You need to be kind of living in the world where this is taboo and have that kind of hovering over the whole picture for it to work the way it does. So,
Yeah.
this one would be a modern Hellraiser would be way too celebratory of the like, "Oh, no, the Hell Cenobites just have an alternative lifestyle, it's okay." Well, it needs
No, the
don't be
Cenobites run honestly, if the Cenobites were to appear today, they're like, "Wow, guys, like, I didn't realize we were tame.
Yeah,
You guys have
they would come
really
up and,
changed."
yeah, the Connor film be like, sorry, Pinhead, Pride's only in June, you gotta come back next year. You just missed
Honestly,
it."
no. No, like, the pinheads in today's era of sexual liberation, I think would be a little bit more on the tame side, to be honest.
Yeah, so,
It's it's way more different than it was in the
yeah.
'80s where it was more like, the straight
They
and
wouldn't
narrow
well,
kinda
they just
deal.
wouldn't make a movie where it's horrific. They would have to do something else with it, and it wouldn't be as good. So we
Yeah.
highly, highly recommend you watch the movie if you can handle 80s gore. One of my favorite horror movies. Soon to be one of my favorite Horror Nights mazes, unless they screw it up, but I don't think they will. I think they'll do a good job.
I mean, there's always a chance, give it time.
I think there's always a chance. I love the pessimism.
Hey, you gotta
All
be
right.
grounded, you gotta be grounded, you can't be overly excited because the fall from grace is very hard.
So now we are moving out of confirmed territory. Those are the three mazes that are confirmed for Horror Nights. Again, we're only talking about Hollywood. I know there are other mazes confirmed for Orlando. Don't care. I don't care. I don't even know what they are. Al, do you care?
No, we're not
We don't
there,
care on
I
this
don't
program.
care.
We're not going this year. One year I'll go to Orlando, not this year.
Yeah.
But we do have more to talk about because there is construction happening that we can see, kind of open air construction. I'm not going to talk more about just the rumors flying around in rumor world at this point because I think now we have more solid things to talk about. The rumors they also haven't really changed from the last time we talked about it. So if you really want to get the lowdown, you can listen to our last episode and we'll walk you through the whole latest speculation map. Which, by the way, all three mazes that we just talked about that have been announced were all on that speculation. So far they're batting 1,000. Let's talk about what is anticipated based on construction. So the first one that feels I'm kind of doing these in the order of we have the best idea of what this is to we don't really know, but it's interesting to look at and talk about. So the one we know the most, I would say this one is 99.9% confirmed. It would take a catastrophic legal issue at this point for this not to come because construction is practically complete. Uh, One of the quirkiest, we want to talk about an unexpected, strange horror movie. Let's talk about Killer Clowns from Outer Space. They're doing the hat trick, doing the three-peat. The third time they're coming to Horror Nights, they are returning. We know this because this is going into the spot where they did Dungeons and Dragons for kind of had that queue set
FanFest.
up. It's where, yeah, for FanFest, it's where the what was it last year? Scarecrows was last year, so the
The
tram
crows with a
for the
Z.
the
Yeah.
daytime park drives right past that zone. I've sent the picture to Alvaro, so he'll confirm for our audience at home. You can very clearly see the Killer Clown funhouse and forest set that's been outside. The last 2 times they brought this is back. Again, this was a heavily speculated to be coming back this year. Everything we've seen in construction has reinforced that. I think this is not going to grab a lot of attention because again, this is the third time it's coming. It's kind of a double repeat at this point. So they'll just announce this late in the cycle. But I do believe this one is coming back, probably with few changes, if any. Ceno-Al, Killer Clowns, third time around. Are you excited? Are you disappointed? Are you afraid of clowns?
I am not afraid of clowns. I don't know. I do not understand why people are afraid of clowns.
I would be afraid of clowns if I lived in Gotham City, but I do not.
No, the Joker is misunderstood. He is
Okay.
actually we're actually good friends in the Ceno world. He comes to visit
I
every once in a
I
while.
bet you would be, yeah.
No, definitely not afraid of clowns. The idea of them coming back again, though, I'm just like, guys, there's other quirky '80s horror.
This is and I do have this I don't love this movie like I love Hellraiser, but I do love this movie, and it's kind of like a so it's a B movie, but it knows it's a B movie, and it has a lot of fun being a B movie. It really covers everything you could want from a Killer Clown from Outer Space movie where you don't feel like you never need a sequel because everything you could imagine is in there. The actors have a lot of fun with it. The plot's ridiculous, but that's fine. It's a good movie. And I remember the first time we did this maze, I don't think we were recording a podcast yet, but I think we both, I liked it. I remember really liking it. I think we were in it twice. We liked it so much. It felt
It,
different. It felt fresh. Great representation of the movie. All the iconic scenes you could want represented. Did you like it the first time you did it?
yeah, because we had just finished watching the movie again, and I think it was my first time. It was your like a thousandth time.
Oh yeah, I grew up
Eh,
on this movie.
Yeah, exactly. And then like I was like, oh, this is a such a quirky thing, such a quirky movie. Mind
Quirky
you,
is a
the
good word
'80s was
for it.
just the
It's
'80s was just
very
full of
80s.
quirks.
It's
Yeah,
extremely 80s.
the visuals were funny.
Yeah.
The hat trick was
It is
nice.
funny. It's not scary. I wouldn't say this is
No,
like, I
no,
wouldn't show
no.
this to a small child, but I also wouldn't say it's a scary movie.
I wouldn't show freaking Hellraiser to a small child either.
No, I obviously would not show Hellraiser to a small child or any
No,
child. Killer
no.
Clowns I might show to, like, a medium child because it's not scary. Like, some of the
No.
imagery could be scary in your own mind, but you're not gonna get really jump scared by this movie. The clowns look like big guys in suits, which they are.
Yeah,
Um,
it's the '80s. The
yeah,
animation and all that was very like obviously fake to our eyes today. So it's
there's there's some really funny moments in this movie.
yeah.
Another door, iconic. And they nailed that in the maze. Like all those iconic moments, the funny ones and the scarier ones were all in the maze. Then they brought it back for year two, and I thought, well, maybe they'll change some stuff up. They'll change the layout, tweak some of the scenes, punch up the ending. Nope, same thing. And it really didn't hit the same the second time out. How did you like it the second time?
It was fine. I was just like, guys, again, it's
Yeah,
the
and it
same
came back like
exact thing.
it was just a year
Same
or two
exact
after
thing.
the first run. It wasn't gone for very long.
No, it was like a year or two later it came
Yeah,
back, and I was just like,
so
wow,
it's coming back for
you
the third time now. Usually that kind of attention is reserved for the big slashers like Michael Myers or Leatherface. So they're a lot big honor for Killer Clowns. I think if you've never done this one, you should be excited about it because again, it is very different, um, quirky, kind of funny, a little scary, very different from their usual style of maze. If you've done it before, like us, I mean,
oh my god.
we'll do it because it'll be on the tour. I mean, I don't know if we would even do it if we weren't doing the tour, honestly,
If
because
if it wasn't for front of the line, RIP,
yeah, Been there,
probably
done that.
wouldn't do
I
it.
wouldn't wait in line for it.
Yeah. I just thought of the
Yeah.
ending
I
with
will
the
say,
the ice
I
cream guys and the female clowns.
the female clowns. I will
Yeah.
say that, this movie has a great theme song, and I'm excited to have that back in the park. Hopefully, they play it on the escalators instead of Sabrina Carpenter this year.
I think we used it in the Killer Clown. I
We may
think
have used parts of it. Did we do it? We did a Fun House intro, but it was for Al. I don't know if we've ever actually done a full Killer Clown intro to this podcast.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. All
All
right.
right. Yeah, who were you? You were Al or were you Art? You were some kind of Al Art combination that episode.
Yeah,
That was last year's Midsummer Scream.
it was last year's Midsummer Scream.
And
Or
that is a great segue to our next topic, which is the speculated Terrifier tram. There's a bit of a story to this one. So
a bit of
this is another
drama.
one. This is the Terror tram. And this is another one that they can't really keep under wraps because they're constructing it right in front of the studio tour that operates every day. And people saw the same, how do I describe them? The wooden outlines of the Blumhouse came back out, and people thought, "Oh my god, they're doing the Blumhouse Terror Tram for the 3rd year in the row. I can't
Mhm.
believe it. I hate the Blumhouse Terror Tram. How could they be doing this to us?" People were really upset, and Murdy got on Twitter and was like, "I really think people need to stop making assumptions based on our in-progress construction pictures before we finish the construction." And that kind of quieted things. And then they started modifying the Blumhouse outline to look like a circus tent outline. So going from Blumhouse back to clown, and of course, what's been speculated for this location was Terrifier, because Terror Tram, Terrifier Tram just makes too much sense. Damien Leone, who makes the Terrifier movies, is a big Horror Nights fan. He's a big proponent of getting Terrifier into Horror Nights, and it was a huge. I mean, it was a runaway success last year. I think it was the house of the year. Probably the most popular house of the year last year was Terrifier in terms of wait time and the hype it was generating. They had the runaround Art the Clown character, so it makes sense that they want to keep that collaboration going and see how many years can we milk this Art the Clown guy until the well runs dry. So it makes sense. It would be a intense Terror Tram, I think, a little more intense than they usually do. Usually, Terror Tram is a bit one of the lighter kind of mazes they do, but I think if you're using Terrify, if you're using Art the Clown, you can't do that. You gotta make it hardcore. So that'd be interesting to see. Um, I'd be excited for it. Again, it's not really confirmed. I would say this is more like the 60 to 70% confirmed. It's going to be, I think, a clown something because they have that kind of big tent, big top outline now. They could shift to just a generic clown. It could be Hollywood Harry's coming back. I'd be almost more excited for that because I like Hollywood Harry. Um,
Yeah,
so
you sure
what's
do.
your impression? Are you excited for clowns on the Terror Tram, and specifically, would you be excited if it's the Terrifier tram?
I mean, if it's a Terrifier tram, I'll be excited just because it's not the same clowns as before.
I'll be
Um,
excited it's just not Blumhouse again.
you and Blumhouse have a love-hate relationship. You love to hate each other. No,
No more Purge.
I
I can't
the
do another
first
Purge maze.
the first time we've ever went together to Horror Nights, it was the clowns. As I think it was Hollywood Harry. It was a
Was that our
clown
first year
themed.
was Hollywood Harry?
Yeah, it was a clown themed tram ride. I recall very clearly, and the fact that now it would be Terrifier, a different kind of clown. Um, I like it. I like the idea. It's almost reminiscent of the past because that was, I think it was 10 years ago the first time we went, and now we're at a 10-year mark and it's
Is this
clowns
a 10-year
again.
anniversary for Horror Nights?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it might
yeah.
be.
This is the 10th year
Wow.
anniversary.
We
Time
should do
flies.
something special. I didn't realize.
Yeah, it was clowns again, but different kind of clown, clown singular,
Gorier
and
clowns.
gorier clown, black and white.
More
What's
terrifying.
what's black and white and red all over? art with his latest victim's blood.
Ha ha ha. I do think they should be really trying to hit the Terrifier theme as well. I think we're already past last year. I think was peak Terrifier.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
think
yeah.
I think
And then
Terrifier 4 will not be as well received. I think even Terrifier 3 wasn't quite didn't it made more money. I don't think it was as well regarded as Terrifier 2. I think that they're starting to, and they always do this for these slasher movies. When they start making too many sequels, they start to get into the lore behind the slasher character, and no one has ever
cares.
really cared. So I think they're being pulled in that direction. They've also kind of run out of shocking ideas for the character to do. So I think they should be let's milk Art the Clown while he's still kind of the hot slasher around town. So
Yeah,
I'd be
and
excited for this, and if it's just generic clowns, I'm just gonna be happy it's not Blumhouse. I'll be really interested to see what is the VIP photo op for this year for Stop Blumhouse, because last year they did 3 different kind of movies. It was 3 different kinds of characters. Are we gonna have 3 different Art the Clowns? I don't know. I'll be interested to
I
see.
think it's gonna be part of it's gonna be Art the Clown, and part of it might be some of the Cenobites. I believe. I think it's also kind of sexy because Art went through a lot of drama this year with who owns the rights.
Oh yeah, there's a lawsuit going on. And
Yeah,
there is actually an active lawsuit about who owns the rights to Terrifier, because originally it was a short and a compilation that Damien Leone made, but there's some controversy about whether he owned the underlying IP rights to the character he made in that short, or if the company who produced that short just gave him a release to say you can make one movie about this and we'll see how it does. And then he ran with that to make a whole franchise. So there's some debate. But I do not think my own expert legal analysis, I'm not a lawyer, but my own expert amateur legal analysis would be that they wouldn't be able to get an injunction stopping him from appearing at Horror Nights because it wouldn't damage the brand. And any damages could just be rectified with money later down the line. So it wouldn't be rising to the level of harm that would be an injunction. And you didn't realize we're getting legal analysis on this podcast, but we do a little bit of everything except talk about
it,
Orlando, which we hate.
it
Uh,
feels like a shut me up lawsuit.
it feels like they're just trying to get some money. Yeah.
Exactly. They realized it blew up. They realized how much money it made because they could have come out at any other point in time. But
Well, it's
once
also
the
possible
money
they've been
started coming
negotiating
in,
in the background for a long time and they just reached a point where they decided their only remedy left was to sue. So we don't know, but I don't think
or
it's going to affect
sue,
Horror
but
Nights.
come out into the public eye about it. Like
I
you
don't think it's
said, it
going to
could have been in the
affect.
background, but once he realized he wasn't budging, now move it to the public eye.
Yeah. But again, I don't think it's going to. So be cool to see art again. Be cool to have not Blumhouse on the Terror Tram no matter what. So that one, excited for. More excited for that than for Killer Clowns repeat. Sticking on the
Yeah.
clown theme, there was a clown I don't know if a statue is the right word, but some construction that was very circus clown themed went up in the kind of the main Universal Plaza area. It's the main drag where the primary scare zone always is. So it's going to be part of the scare zone. So we know that scare zone is going to be clowns. It'll be some kind of chainsaws and clowns. Don't really know much more about that, but it does seem to be a very clown forward year. Now that we know that's happening.
Clown heavy.
We know Killer Clowns is happening. The Terror Trout is some kind of clown. There is still a lot of speculation that Hollywood Harry will be making an appearance in some form. Maybe it'll be his scare zone. So it is kind of a very clown heavy year, even though the big IPs are not clown.
I swear, I'm gonna freaking laugh if they incorporate a clown in Sinners.
I don't know why. I don't know why they would, but you heard it here first. Alvara's going to laugh at any clowns added to the Sinner's Maze. Uh, do you even really care what the primary scare zone is anymore?
No.
Yeah, it's just kind of noise at this point.
Yeah.
Now, if Baby Crow shows up and he's Clown Crow, that might be worth talking about.
Well, no, I want him to be teenage Moody Crow.
Oh, he doesn't want to talk to anyone. He's just molting in the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. No one understands me, bruh.
All right.
It's like
Looking
I'm
at
not your bruh.
some of the other construction going around, I thought was a little interesting. So It does look like the Universal Plaza maze is going to be Latin American themed. It's a
Cool.
very we can see the facade is looks like a very Spanish style house. And interestingly, it has a balcony that looks like it's a functional balcony that will support a scare actor. So there's been a lot of speculation there'll be a scare actor actually up on the balcony level looking down at you as you enter, which I don't think they've ever done before. At least I can't remember an instance of that. There's been maybe models or statuettes up above as you come in before, but never a live actor. So that could be cool. Don't really know what they're gonna do for Latin America. I'm really, really, really hoping it doesn't have that Monstros feel, even if it's not called Monstros. I don't want it
Right.
to feel like I'm in rural northeastern Mexico, which is every Latin American maze, no matter what part of Latin America it is, it always feels like it's just across the border from Texas. Um, it's a Latin America is a very big place. Hoping it's a little more diverse this year. Um, the balcony is a cool concept. We'll see where that comes. Ceno-Al, are you excited for the balcony?
I am not at the same time. I kind of want him to do something else now.
Yeah.
I
Really was hoping we do, I thought Asian made a lot of sense and would be really cool to do, or I think it'd be really cool to do Irish, like Celtic, because Murdy lives in Ireland, so he's a little close to that, but
hell, if this is so clown heavy, I would have loved it if this was the Central Plaza was just like the big tent.
the big top.
Yeah, big top.
Yeah, and you
There you
could
go.
sell, like, circus food at the food
Yeah,
trucks. Yeah, that would be
because
cool,
it's
the corn
so clown.
dogs and
It's right there. It's right there.
yeah.
Like all the clowns everywhere. This would have been great as the big top and just you know
I
all
feel like
the
you could throw out 10 ideas, and they'd all be better than another repeat.
yeah.
I mean, I'll say I'm trying to be open to the idea that maybe it won't have that same feel because 'cause we're out of the monstrous theme now, so it'll be something else.
Hmm.
Not Chupacabra, I don't think, which is the one I would make an exception for,
What
but,
about La Llorona?
we've had La Llorona so many times. This will be, like, the 4th or 5th time. More La Lloronas than
She's
killer clowns from outer space at
she's
this point.
she's crying because she's back.
She's crying because she can't get a break.
Yep.
It's like, "Just one day off, please."
No, 1 year off. No,
They
it's
also
I'm kind of done with it. I really wanted to do something else. I was like,
there's also
yeah, you
interesting
guys
construction going on in the Jurassic World queue. If you look at it, it kind of has it's one of 2 things. If you look at the picture I posted, it's very hard to describe. It looks either like an old Hollywood kind of facade, like an old building that they would have made in the 20s that's very stone heavy,
mhm.
or it is a mausoleum. And we can see something with some text. It says OME, so definitely it's gonna say home. It's a big sign. Um, and Murdy posted a very cryptic message after this. It was something along the lines of, "It's a real shame, what happened there. I hope that it can one day reopen, but all those murders were so horrific." So I think this is gonna be an original concept, and I'm very intrigued by it. That's the only reason I included it because I think it's kind of neat. And I don't know what it is, and usually I have a better sense. So this is the one time Undead Ed is stumped.
Undead stumped,
Yeah, stumped Dead Ed.
stumped it, stumped da da
That's
da.
gonna be also at the Jurassic World queue, which is interesting. I think they're actually reusing that. This was where the WWE maze was
Oh god,
last
that's
year.
awful.
So it looks like they're continuing to use that. They don't use this every year. I went away for a long time, and when they stopped using it, they moved that maze over to where we think Killer Clowns will be this year. So they functionally now are keeping with one extra maze per year than we're used to, which is part of why we had less time last year. So there's something to keep in mind. And I think more mazes is good. Last year they did
Yes,
more and I didn't feel a drop in I would rather have fewer mazes of high quality than more mazes of low quality, but that's not what happened. We had more mazes and they were still of very high quality. So I think that's really cool. That's great.
I think the main idea is crowd control. The more mazes you
Disperse people.
have,
Yeah.
yeah, The
And that's kind of it for in the park construction. But something very cool that's happening outside the park is happening at Universal Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas, which we will talk about because it's not Orlando. It's in our West Coast kind of sphere. This is the permanent year-round attraction they have in Las Vegas at the Area 15 by Omega Mart, right at the end of the strip. And they've had the same 4 franchises there since they launched. I believe it's Texas Chainsaw, Exorcist Believer, Universal Monsters, and Scarecrows. And it was a big surprise a few weeks ago, a new franchise showed up. Something that's been desired at Halloween Horror Nights for a long time. Resident Evil made a surprise appearance, and now it was kind of a soft launch, and now they've hard launched it. So from now until the end of August, they have a Resident Evil experience going on at Horror Unleashed. They've had Resident Evil has been featured at Universal Studios Japan for Horror Nights for many years now. They do a big show called Biohazard, and Japan Resident Evil is called Biohazard Night of Heroes. And in the Resident Evil franchise, a lot of the it's a video game. These characters you play as are not just like a Call of Duty or like Myst or EverQuest, where it's a generic character. They're characters that have a lot of personality. It's not like you make them; they're full feature. And so that's a big part of the franchise. Are these iconic characters? So at the Universal show in Japan, it's all about those characters fighting the zombies. At the Resident Evil here in Horror Unleashed, you get to do photo ops with these kind of meet and greets with these iconic characters. There's a slew of zombies and some of the iconic zombie enemies from these games, the giant Nemesis monster and
Yes.
the liquor are also now Nemesis looks great. I've seen the pictures. He looks really good. The liquor zombie, which I actually just played this game for the first
Don't
time a
call it
month or two
that.
ago. And the liquor is such a great, scary enemy, which has this giant exposed brain, and it's just the flesh is all peeled off. It's this giant tongue, and it walks along walls, and it only works by auditory. So if you're quiet, you can sneak by them. Great enemy in the game, but almost very kind of inhuman looking because the zombie virus is distorted to such a degree, and the actor they have does not. It just looks ridiculous. It looks very bad for the liquor. But the rest of it's great. It's kind of a not a maze, but kind of a mystery solving experience, which is very much in the spirit of the games. The games you're constantly having to solve little mysteries to progress through. It's not just shoot the zombies. It's always kind of figure out how to get to the next area, and that always involves puzzle solving. So very true to the spirit of the games. They even have unique drinks. There's different zombie viruses in Resident Evil, so you can order, the T virus drink or any of these other the N virus, any virus you want is a different kind of drink, which is fun.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really great implementation for that space. Alvar, are you? I'm actually kind of mad that because my broken arm, I'm not planning to go to Las Vegas anytime soon. I've been planning to move there. If I was living there now, we would definitely be going to this. We're not going to be there before the end of August, which is unfortunate because it sounds really great. The pictures and the videos I've been seeing look really cool. Um, Definitely like the most exciting thing I've seen at Horror Unleashed so far.
Yeah.
Alvaro, what's just your reaction to the Horror Unleashed thing before we talk about implications for Horror Nights?
I like it. I just
Have you seen it?
it's
I've sent you some of this. Have you looked at any of it?
yeah, I've seen some of it. It's I'm really excited. I grew up with the movies as opposed to the game, so when it was first announced, I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't look like what I'm used to.
Where's Alice?
Where is Alice?
Where's some Mila Jovanovic?
Yeah, I was so mad. I was like, where is my crazy Russian lady? Um, no, and then when I started playing the game, I'm not playing the games, watching the movies of the games, that's when I was like, oh, this is what they're talking about. And I was like, okay. Then I got really into the plot. And then I was like, God damn it, there's only like what, one or two movies, I think, that they made
Yeah, but there's
about it.
so many games. I think you're up to like 9 games, not counting the
Yeah.
remakes, which would bring up to like 12. There's been a lot of games.
Yeah. And like I'm not like I'm not really much of a game person, as you can tell based on how many times I joined you and our friend in playing video games.
Yeah.
Um,
Have you ever won Smash Brothers? with us?
I have not. I have
Yeah.
not won. We played so many times. I have it. I have the game,
You got into practice and it didn't
and
help.
then I just kind of it's gathering dust now.
Yeah.
It's I'm excited for it. I love Resident Evil. I love zombies. All the classic monsters of this video game that I saw in the movie. I was like, oh yeah, I know that. So
Yeah.
it was great to like make that correlation and connection. Now that I actually knew the game, based on the movies of the game, I'm like, okay, now I'm having a much better time. Um, yeah, I'm really excited for the T-virus drinks
I think
once we
actually
get to go.
Resident Evil is one of the cooler zombie franchises because it mutates. Like most enemies are just zombies, but because it's a game as opposed to a movie, they also have these very unique looking zombies, like the Licker, who didn't look so good in real life, and the game is really cool looking, and like the big nemesis monster. So it's a little more variety than just zombie.
The Nemesis
Um,
monster look such like a Cenobite
no, he's
in
just a
the
big. He's a big, just like not even. He's just a big pound of flesh. He just is. He just is this big thing of flesh coming after you. It's
uh,
great.
did you watch the Resident Evil movie
I saw like
with
the first 2 or 3, and then they got really weird. I was like, "I'm out."
oh, no, yeah, don't watch after, like, 3.
Yeah, the
No,
first 2
and
I thought were pretty good, actually.
yeah, the first 2 when they first introduced the Genesis monster, he looks like a Cenobite, like, he's straight up because he's wearing, like, black leather and then just,
Yeah, he does.
screams at you like like the
I always
Chatterer,
thought it
he
was like
looks
his suit is more like a containment suit. Like if you ever took that off, he would just collapse into a big puddle, which is kind of
no.
what happens in the game.
No, I don't know, maybe, but I
Yeah.
was just like, this looks. He doesn't look scary. He looks kinky scary. And
We're
now
learning
that
a lot about Alvaro's interests on this podcast.
no, once I made that connection with Hellraiser, I was like, oh, maybe he was inspired. The artist who first designed it
Yeah,
was
I could
inspired by
see that. He
Hellraiser.
has that black leather thing going on.
Yeah, I was like, he could have
And
been
it was before
inspired
the
by
Matrix.
Hellraiser. Yeah, exactly. So it was like, oh damn,
So
he
if
looks
you
very similar.
are going to Vegas in the next 2 months, I would recommend you check this out. I think it looks really cool. More interesting for us, I think, is what this could mean for Horror Nights. So if you remember the very first speculation map we looked at back in December, Resident Evil was on there. And I
Mm-hmm.
was very surprised to see it because this is another one, kind of the white whales that people have asked for so long, and we never get it. And Murdy has said before that he doesn't really, he's like my friend Al, he doesn't play a lot of games. He's not really a gamer. So these game franchises sometimes slip by him. They did do the game
He,
version of The Last of Us, which I thought was a
yeah, I was
really
gonna
good
say.
implementation.
Mhm.
And I think Resident Evil would really knock it out of the park for a lot of the reasons we've just been talking about how they have the different kinds of zombies to go through, a lot of iconic characters to play with, a lot of iconic sets to play with that's just never come. So this, I think, is interesting that it is now in the US parks, and maybe it's a sign that whatever deal they had to make, now they've come to an understanding to bring it over here to the English speaking world. And maybe next year we could see Resident Evil get a headliner maze in the park. What I really want is Resident Evil to replace the Purge show. I really want the Resident Evil show in Japan at the Waterworld show instead of the Purge. That would make me so happy. Really, anything other than Purge, but if it was Resident Evil, I'd be so happy.
I mean, we'll see, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen anytime
It's
soon.
not gonna happen this year. This year, it's gonna be back to the Purge, baby.
It's purges. The purge is inside you all along. That's why the
They
purge is
should,
the friends you made along the way.
instead of doing the Purge, they should just rerun the One Piece show from FanFest because people love that. It doesn't have to be horror. Just do not Purge, and everyone will be so happy. They won't care that it doesn't fit at Horror Nights.
We actually didn't get to watch some One Piece
We
shows.
didn't, but people loved it.
Yeah,
This would be a
I
good
was
chance
very,
for us to see it.
I was very sad. I was like, damn, I kind of want to see it, but we ran out of time.
Yep, listen to our review to learn about how grumpy we were that we ran out of time even after buying the express ticket.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was very annoyed.
And that
Yeah.
really wraps up everything I had to for this episode about horror nights, we do have a few horror nerd updates. So we are going to Midsummer Scream in less than a month, actually. It's coming right up, start of
Mm-hmm.
April.
August.
1, 2, 3 weeks. And then on the fourth week, I'll be coming out to Long Beach for Midsummer Scream. This is a major Halloween convention. It bills itself as the world's largest Halloween. It's not horror, but Halloween convention. All the
Uh,
major haunts in the Southern California area have presentations there, and Halloween Horror Nights is always the showstopper at the end. This year we bought the I don't want to wait in line pass, so we might not have to
uh-huh.
wait in line for 2 hours. And remember last year we were in line for there was like lined up 2 hours ahead of time. They brought us into a room and they had some guy do stand up. No, he wasn't. He was doing like comedy music parodies, and it was oof, it was tough. Um,
No, no, he
I
sucked.
respect the heck out of that guy because he really was like, this crowd does not want to listen to it, but I'm putting everything out there, and he really gave us a show that no one wanted to hear.
No
But
one wanted to
I
witness it.
respect that guy as a performer.
It was the
Um,
hustle. You respect the hustle.
yeah, yeah. And so this year we're excited. I had a big cosplay plan that I had to kind of downgrade because I broke my arm and I didn't really have time and the dexterity to pull it off. So I'm doing a lighter kind of a closet cosplay from Dead by Daylight. So maybe you'll see some pictures of that on our Instagram. Al, have you settled on a costume yet?
I'm gonna be a psychopath. They look
Oh, so
just
you're
like
just
all
going day your normal day.
they look just like all of
Normal
any
day
one
to
of
day look.
us.
Okay, sounds good.
No, no, it's a psychopath that look like any one of us.
So you can look forward to Al Dalmer, guest join on our next episode. And maybe we'll even try to record something live when we're back in Long Beach together. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
gonna
and
be
that's
an
gonna
exciting
and that's all we
episode.
got. That's all we got for this update. So I hope you are now informed about what's coming to Horror Nights. I hope you are coming this year. We'd love to
I
see
sure can.
another great year. Just don't get in line in front of us.
No,
And
please don't.
Al, anything else to say to our audience before we close?
Stay scared out there.
Thank you for listening to this production of the Hollywood Horror Nerds. We know you have many options for your listening entertainment, and we're glad you chose us. Find us on Instagram at Hollywood Horror Nerds, on X at HW Horror Nerds, and on YouTube at Hollywood Horror Nerds. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite alternative podcast site to ensure you don't miss next month's episode. And until then, stay scared out there.